my channel. Today is the 18th of April, better known as Record Store Day, and if you don't know what that is, it's a day where artists will release special editions, new copies of vinyl records, and they will only put them out to independent local record store vinyl shops. And I've done it, this will be my second year doing Record Store Day. I have done Black Friday once, and I thought I would show you what I got from this year, tell you a little bit how my experience went this year doing it, because it did differ from last year, and then like my tips to take away and to remember for next year. So I did get everything that I wanted, and so I'll tell you about my experience first. So I initially knew I was going to get there earlier than last year. I was planning to do it solo this year. Last year Darren came with me and the dogs, and we were there from about 4 o'clock in the morning, and at that point I just wanted to get the Taylor Swift Fortnite vinyl. That was all that really interested me on the list at the time. So we just did that, and there was loads, and we were about 60th in line. I knew I wanted to get there earlier this year because there was one specific record that I knew was probably going to be harder to get. Taylor Swift, I knew I could probably get there any time and get it, just because there were so many said to have been released. And so I initially was going to push it back to maybe 2 o'clock to get there for in the morning, and then it kind of got pushed back to 12. So I came home yesterday and I went to sleep at about 7 o'clock. I then woke up about 9 o'clock in the evening and thought, right, well, let's try and go back to sleep till midnight. And I ended up waking up before my alarm at about 11 o'clock, and I was like, might as well just go. So I went down there, got there for about 11:30, and there was quite a few people there already. I follow a few of the local record stores in my area, and people always will queue up the day before, like from midday onwards. So I knew I was not going to be in the first 10. I ended up being 23rd in line. There were a couple of people's like other halves that were there just for support. Darren did offer to come with me. I was just like, you don't have to, I'm going to be there super early. I don't need you to like get a duplicate of anything for me. Yeah, I'm happy to go alone. So that's what I did. So I stuck it out, and I will say I was more prepared than last year. I had my chair, had my blanket, had an extra scarf, snacks, drinks, and I will talk about in my tips like best things to look out for and to take, but I was pretty prepared. I would say the worst time was probably like 4 or 5 o'clock, because that's when it was actually the coldest and my feet really got cold. The rest of me was pretty okay, but my feet took the brunt of it. So that's something that I will note down for next year. But I was pretty comfy. I listened to some YouTube videos and just looked on social media. I took some books with me. I didn't even read those. I knew I wasn't going to nap. That just wasn't going to happen. It was all right. And then from about 7 o'clock, my record store comes round with a tick sheet. So it'll have your number on it, and then you tick all the ones you want, and then they'll take those in order, and they have people that will pick the records, and then they'll be there ready for you to pay, which I really like that, because it takes the stress out of having to rifle through all the different bins and trying to find what you're looking for, and then risking, you know, if they let 5 people at a time, you could have been ahead of someone and waited 2 hours longer than someone behind you, but they might then sneak in and get a record, you know. So that doesn't sit particularly well with me. So I like this idea of everyone, it's a number order, first come first serve. I think that's pretty fair. And so the 4 that were on my wish list were obviously Taylor Swift's Elizabeth Taylor, Hilary Duff's Mine. That was the one I was most wanting because it's got all of her re-records on it, and yeah, I just knew that I wanted to get that. Bruno Mars, because I love Bruno Mars, and then Ray. And then I kind of in the last day was like, well, maybe I should get the Olivia Dean one, because she's kind of the ambassador and I'm kind of liking her music more and more, so I thought I might get that one as well. What was really good at my store is that you can literally put down 20 ones that you want, just in case, you know, some of them are sold out by the time you get there and you've got other options. And they said that's fine, you can put like all 20 down. When you get to the till, if there's something you don't want, that's fine, they'll stick it back out. So yeah, let me show you what I got. So I ended up getting all 5. So I'm going to go through these, show you them, open them, and then I'm going to go stick them in their protective sleeves. So the first one is Olivia Dean, Live at the BBC. These are all Record Store Day exclusives, so it means you can only get them on Record Store Day, and then if they have leftovers they do put them on their online website, usually the day or two after. The other types of records you can get are Record Store Day firsts, where they will release that edition on Record Store Day, but there's the possibility they are going to reprint it, repress it in the next year, 2 years, 5, 10 years, you know. There's not really a set time frame. So yes, this is Olivia Dean, Live at the BBC. It has You've Got a Friend with Jules Holland. So when it was the broadcast from the 5th of October 25, and then Call About It from a BBC Radio 1 piano sessions from the 9th of October 2023. So that's that. And I'm going to open them first with you, and I'll keep these because I'm going to try and take the stickers off, and then I will put them on new sleeves. But let's open them. I don't think I've really seen any of the actual vinyls for these to know what like colours are or anything. Matte finish, and then it's got a little slip case inside that says Olivia Dean Live at the BBC, and I should have got my my mitt out for vinyls, but it is just a plain sort of black, very classic, I would say, vinyl, and this is obviously a 7-inch. Next we have Taylor Swift's Elizabeth Taylor, so that is what that is like. And this is kind of the standard Record Store Day sticker. Some of them have kind of their own designed ones, but this one does not. And this has a number on it. I don't know if that correlates to literally how many were made, or I'm not sure. And then it's got the date on the Record Store Day, so you can see and remember which year it came from. Oh my god, I forgot how pretty this was going to be. Wow. So it's 2 versions of Elizabeth Taylor, the normal one and then the cabaret version, and it is a beautiful purple, sparkly little number, like super pretty. And I do have quite a few of the Life of a Showgirl vinyls, and I got the Opalite 7-inch, so that'll be going to add to that little collection. Interesting, there's no slipcase for that, so I like it when they do a little bit extra, but that is that one. Okay, let's do Bruno Mars next. So this is all of his collaborations, well not all of them, but probably quite a few of them. So you've got like Nothing on You with B.O.B, Billionaire with Chappie McCoy, Uptown Funk with Mark Ronson, Finesse, and then Aperture with Rose. Yeah, so very excited about this one. It has a Record Store Day exclusive sticker on it, as well as his own Record Store Day ambassador sticker. So he must have been like the American ambassador, and Olivia Dean was the UK one, I guess. So that's pretty cool. And I saw that people were getting like, maybe not tote bags, but I know there were definitely like badges that people were being given in America. Like some of the tote bags that people get at Record Store Day are really good. You get some really good bits in them. Our store not so much, to be honest. Our store very much focuses on local indie music and that sort of thing, so yeah, you don't really get any of the big stuff, I would say. So here we are. Okay, so this one comes with a little insert, and it basically just tells you who's written all the songs. Actually, there's no lyrics or anything in there, but you know, you could frame that if you wish. And again, a very classic vinyl casing, I would say, like slipcase. Oh, it sounds very staticky though. So yeah, just a very classic black vinyl again. Black vinyls are not my favourite, but I do think they're quite timeless. And a lot of my older records that I've got are obviously black. I feel like maybe only in the last 10-15 years maybe that they've really gotten into special edition vinyls, and different pressings and artworks and that sort of thing. So okay, that's pretty cool. Then let's have a look at the Ray Mark Ronson. So this is just a 45-inch but of Suzanne, and then Suzanne at the Church. Not quite sure what the difference is, to be honest. This has got a silver Record Store Day little logo on it. Where's my little pin? So yeah, I haven't really listened to this much, if at all. So yeah, it'll be my first time listening to it on vinyl, and yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Just to like hear something for the first time. It has a limited edition blue vinyl sticker on it. So I save all those and they'll go with their new outer sleeves. So that's what it looks like. It's kind of like them in the studio. This comes with a slipcase, or a black slipcase. That's nice. Oh, this is bright blue. Like I thought this was going to be that kind of blue. Oh no. This is like bright blue. I do not have any vinyls like that. That is very cool. And there's like some engraving on the inside. I don't know if the camera is going to pick it up. So on those inner rings, obviously where it doesn't play, I don't know if you can see, but there's like almost like serial numbers. Cool to get a single on a big 45 vinyl, because I feel like you mostly get them on 7 inches now. And then finally we have Mine by Hilary Duff, and like I said, this was kind of the whole reason I lined up. Did I need to line up that early? Probably not, but I don't know how many they had. I think they maybe only had about 4 or 5, and I saw one girl in front of me had got one, and this one has her own pink sticker on it. So yeah, and I didn't want to take that chance. I didn't want to pay resellers prices, although the resale on this is not that bad. I think my record store was charging like £33, and I think on Vinted they were going for anywhere from like £50 to £60. So not terrible. So this is a full-fledged like new album. So we've got new artwork on the front, new artwork on the back, and this is all of the remade songs or re-recorded songs that she did from back in the day. So you've got Wake Up, So Yesterday, What Dreams Are Made Of, Sparks, Come Clean, Why Not, and With Love. All absolute bangers. I knew I had to get that. This is the gatefold, so this is the only one that opens up like a gatefold, and this is really good for £33. Like, yeah, some of them you don't get much. Like Elizabeth Taylor, you don't get anything with that, and which is a shame, because Taylor's so much about like putting individual poems in and making artwork all that different. You think there might be something else in there, at least a slip jacket, and there's not. So yeah. So this comes with a little insert, and this actually has the lyrics to everything, so if you didn't know them, which you probably will know, and then it's got sort of a screen grab of a photo shoot that she did. So that is that, and then you've got in this grey silvery case, and the vinyl itself is beautiful. When I heard it was like silver, I was like, but this is really like a beautiful sort of grey pearlescent. Yeah, and then so you've got kind of like just a red burgundy, I don't know, I'm sure there's a technical term for the sticker in the middle, but that's that. And then on the other side you have the kind of studio from the photo shoot, or the room from the photo shoot. So really pretty. I can't wait to play that. So as you can see, there's a real wide variety. I mean, not so much mine, but there is not only is there a wide variety of artists and bands, but there's also a variety of the types of vinyl that you can pick up, from singles to full albums to compilations. Yeah, it's really interesting to see what they do and how they present it. So I thought I would end the video with giving you my tips that I will take away from this year and what I will implement to next year, and just my tips if you're planning on going maybe next year for the first time, if you stumble across this in 2027, or if you're just, you know, looking for more tips than you have been before, because I know I would always be searching. So what I did last year, which last year was my first proper record store day. Like I said, I'd done Black Friday, but last year was my first record store day. I have a list on my phone titled Record Store Day Notes, and I'm just going to add to it every year. So in 2025, my two sort of closest record stores, I'd noted down sort of the time that people were starting to queue up from and who had the bigger allocation, because at that point it was really quite basic for me, and that's all I put. Obviously from last year we had blankets and chairs, but I knew I just wanted to amp it up. I knew it was going to get cold and I was going to be on my own, so I took loads of extra batteries, charging my phone and my headphones. I took books, snacks, drinks. I didn't drink that much because the vinyl store I go to or have been to, there's nothing open overnight. There's nothing open till like 6:30, 7 in the morning. So, you know, I went for a wee before I left at like 11:15, and I didn't go until I came back at about 9. So really very much training my bladder, and that would be kind of my first thing, is have a look at your record stores, and not only have a look obviously at what stock they're going to have and that sort of thing, but see what it's going to be like. Are you going to be as comfortable as you can be? Not everyone is going to be able to sit and queue for 8 hours like I did, and you've got to factor in if that's worth it for you, or, you know, are you going to take your chances and go a bit later? So for me, I knew I was going to go to this record store because they had a bigger allocation of stock. I've known that. It's more of a city centre store, so that's why I've been going there. And I knew they were queuing up early. And so then this year I added to my little list. I know I went on a bit of a tangent there, but I literally just said again what the queue times were like this year when people start queue up, what number I was. I was 23, so let me pop that in. I put down the temperature it got to, and then for next year what I want to make sure that I'm getting more of. So I've said put tights into my joggers, get like those hand warmers and put them in my shoes, and probably get a sleeping bag, because yeah, I really suffered with my feet, because that was kind of out. Even though I had a long coat and a blanket, the draft was getting to it. So that's what I would take away for this year into next year. So if it is going to be your first time going to a record store, and you're planning for it for next year, or if it's this year, if you're watching it in 2027, if you've never been to the record store, firstly, contact them, go and visit them, stalk them on social media, send them messages, find out all of the information you can. Now, record stores are not supposed to release the quantity that they're going to get. Some stores, though, do say the exact number of quantity. I had 2 individual stores, well, I had one tell me the exact number that they were getting of Hilary Duff and how many people had put it on their wish list. I had one store say there was only a handful, so I knew that wasn't going to be a lot. And then the one I went to said, I said, are you going to have Hilary Duff? And they were like, yes, many. So I don't know how much many is to them. And I asked them, I tried to be sneaky and ask them, and they weren't giving me any information. So try your luck. Definitely ask the stores if they will release the information. If not, there's no harm in trying. You know, just say to them, do you think I need to get here early? And they might just allude to how many they have based on when they think you should get there. They're never going to really tell you people queue up from this time, come at this time, because it could be different year from year depending on what stock is and demand and how hyped up it is on social media. But yeah, just try and figure out as much info as you can. And when you stalk them on social media, especially the week leading up to Record Store Day, keep a close eye, because they will show videos and clips, if they're good on their social media, with what stock they're getting. They'll unbox it, they might show a lay of it, like Taylor Swift and I think like Dua Lipa. They showed that they had quite a few, like 20 plus, so I knew there was going to be a lot of those. And you can kind of get an idea from that. I was sort of pausing every video to see if I could find the Hilary Duff one, to try and figure out how many there were. And that's ultimately why I ended up just going early, because I didn't want to take the chance. And like I said earlier, each year they will release the list of who is the albums and the vinyls that are going to be coming out. So check that list. Is it a Record Store Day exclusive? Is it a Record Store Day first? What's your priority? If they're not going to have what you want, is there something else you might want? Yeah, I find it is really gut-wrenching, especially last year. I only had one on my list, and if I hadn't have got that, I would have been really disappointed to have waited 4 hours and not got anything out of Record Store Day, because I feel like